Shukri, just the reason for the timing of the declaration? What factors played a part in it?
Yeah, there are a few factors. We obviously look at how best we're going to use the new ball so that we don't, in the morning, we still want a newish, hardish ball, because also what we felt is that when the shadows come across the wicket in the evening, there's something in it for the quick bowlers. So we didn't want to declare too early and not be able to use that. And then obviously we wanted India to spend as much time on their feet out in the field. You know, we wanted them to really grovel, to steal a phrase, bat them completely out the game, and then say to them, well, come and survive on the last day and an hour this evening. So far, so good. But we also know that they're not just going to roll over. We're going to have to be at our very best tomorrow. But those are the factors that we'd considered, yeah.
And then secondly, some people would say you batted for too long. Why are they wrong?
I don't think there's a right and a wrong in anything. I think I just mentioned it now. We wanted India to come out again after lunch or tea, whichever break that second one is. And again, spend time on their feet. Their bowlers spent a lot of time out there. We saw the effects of batting for 2 full days in the first innings and what sort of effect it had on them. And yeah, it was never going to be easy for the opening batters to come this evening, especially new ball, shadows across the wicket. We felt we could have struck there. So if tomorrow evening it comes that we have them 8 down and people say, well, see, told you so. Well, I mean, we've got to base it on our sound judgment, and if that doesn't work out well, it doesn't. But I don't think there's a right and wrong in any of this.
Great, we'll open up to the floor.
Series secure, 2-0 potentially on the cards or website value tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, obviously 2-0 is a lot better than 1-0. But like I said, this game never ceases to amaze us. But I'd like to think that the series is secured. I'd like to think that. But yeah, we're going to go all out for that, for the win. And yeah, hopefully Marco, the spinners, can do the job tomorrow. I think this wicket has stayed remarkably good. We did expect it to deteriorate a little bit more, but there's just maybe a little bit more consistent spin now, more than anything else. But yeah, we're going to give it our best shot tomorrow.
You guys have looked so good over these 4 tests in Pakistan here. And so what went into the preparation before this subcontinental tour, and what was the India-specific preparations that you did that made you look so good in this series?
I think the big prep was before the Pakistan series. I obviously had a couple of days camp where we try and mimic the conditions we're expecting both in Pakistan and here. And then I also think the fact that we sent the test boys back after the test series to stay nice and fresh for this, because this was going to be the big series for us. Every series is big, but I mean, this is uncharted waters for us. For 25 years we haven't won a series here. So I think the prep has been really good, and I think for the first time we've thrown our weight behind spin bowlers as well. We've got quality spinners that can mix it with the best in the world. So I think we've got the balance of our sides right. And yeah, I think obviously winning a toss helps. But yeah, I think our prep has been really good. That second win, or the first win in the second test in Pakistan, gave us a huge amount of confidence coming here. And we felt that if we could post good first innings runs, we could really put India under pressure.
Shukri, you just mentioned your spinners, and would you say that, especially on a pitch like this where you need to probably be batters in the air, where it's not doing that much off the pitch, would you say your spin attack is probably better for these conditions than India's spin attack?
I don't know if we're better. I think we're just used to these conditions a lot more because back home the spinners don't bowl on spin-friendly conditions. So I think our defensive game is better. If you look at the Indian spinners, I think they used to bowling on wickets that are conducive to spin bowling. So the pace they bowl at, the ball reacts a lot quicker, which makes them a lot more dangerous. I think back home our spinners are forced to bowl with a little bit more guile and a little bit more variation. And it certainly stood us in good stead coming here on a good wicket like this, where we're able to play with our flight, play with our lines and lengths a bit more, overspin, side spin, all of the variations that are needed. So I don't think we're better than them. I think we might just be slightly better equipped in these conditions, yes.
When you came to know that KG won't be available for the test matches, like what kind of conversations do you have with Mark? Like Marco said that before this series he never had great performance across formats in subcontinent. So what changed? Like, what kind of conversations when you knew that you had to take the lead role with KG not being around? Could you just tell us?
Yeah, obviously KG is a massive loss for us, just like Temba was in Pakistan. But and I think this is the beauty of this team is that we always find someone standing up. And Marco knew what the responsibility was on his shoulders. He knew that he had to lead this attack, where normally that would be KG's responsibility, and he'd play more of a supporting role. And this is the wonderful thing, like I say, about this side. When someone needs to stand up, we're able to find that. So Marco is as determined as anyone. He's a driven, and he's a driven cricketer. You know, he was gutted when he couldn't get 100 the other evening, or he didn't get 100. But again, thrilled that he was able to take the sixfer. So not too many major conversations. I think it was really just a pat on the backside and say, right, you need to step up here. And yeah, we just know that whether it's Marco like it was in the first innings, it could be someone else tomorrow.
Coach, it's really analytical that we're talking about the quality of the South African spinners there, not the pace bowlers. Now, we have seen Maharaj as the leader of the spin pack for years. Now, with the other two persons, Salman and Sarora, there are years of lot of hard work and it's a kind of rediscovering themselves which has gone about in the last couple of years. So, any thoughts on the journey and whether the kind of hard grind that they put has toughened them up also as professionals to shine on these conditions?
Yes, definitely. I mean, Kesh has been our shining light for years now. And a few months ago, when Simon reached out to me saying he'd love to play for South Africa again, I don't know who was happier, him or me. You know, I certainly knew that I wanted him in the squad or in the side as soon as we landed, or as soon as we knew we were coming to the subcontinent. And then someone like Seniorin goes unnoticed. He goes about his work quietly. Again, tough being a spinner in South Africa, really tough because you don't get conditions that favour it. So he's churned away workmanlike performances over the years. He's had the experience of being here before in that ill-fated tour of a few years ago. So yeah, the journey outside of Kesh for the others have been a proper journey, you know, one of hard work and showing resilience. Simon has reinvented himself, 1,000 first-class wickets. I don't think that record's going to be broken anytime soon. And I think the big thing for me is that it provides hope for young spinners back in South Africa, where we were primarily seen as a country that just throws its weight behind fast bowling. I'd like to think that the young spinners back home are saying, well, there's hope for us now because spinners are also part of the armory for Proteas attack.
Ahead of the test, not many had expected Muthuswamy to play here. Bosch had a great game in Kolkata too. So what are obviously Muthuswamy has scored 100. What is the logic behind that selection choice?
So I didn't hear the last bit. What is the logic?
Again, the selection choice of going with Muthusamy instead of Bosch.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Look, the choice was really between Bosch and Mulder. Right? Sen was always going to play here. Again, we look at who provides you the major threat, and it was Jaru. We felt he was the major threat. We need another left-hander in the middle order, and that's where Sen ticks that box. We felt that the new ball was going to be important here, and again, we feel that Mulder is a better new ball bowler. He tends to hit the seam better than Boshi does. Boshi is better with the older ball, but we don't think that the older ball plays as much a role here. The older ball is when the spinners basically bowl. So yeah, that is our logic. Whether it makes sense at the end of the day, it depends on what you choose to believe. But yeah, that's our logic. And the good thing is that players buy into it. Tough on guys, tough on Sen in that first test, missing out after being man of the series in the previous series. Boshi doing nicely, missing out here. But again, such is this group of guys that it's all about the team. Some individuals will be disappointed, but ultimately, like they'd say to me, is whatever gets the side to be successful, they're comfortable with that.
Great. On that note, that does conclude the press conference.
Thank you, everyone.